Good morning, sixth graders. It is a pleasure to be with you again today. We're going to keep reading on page 211, but we are going to answer number 1 on page 98. Who do they think is stealing from the office and blaming it on Bep? So look out for that one. I'll point it out when we get there. So we are on 211. We're on the bottom. Let's begin.
In his arms
and actually, I apologize. I need to go back a little bit.
Downstairs without looking round, and am simply longing for today.
All right, so now right here.
Yours, Anna. Monday, 17 April 1944. Dear Kitty, do you think that Daddy and Mummy would approve of my sitting and kissing a boy on a divan? A boy of 17 and a half and a girl of just under 15? I don't really think they would, but I must rely on myself over this. It is so quiet and peaceful to lie in his arms and to dream. It is so thrilling to feel his cheek against mine. It is so lovely to know that there is someone waiting for me. But there is indeed a big but, because will Peter be content to leave it at this? I haven't forgotten his promise already, but he is a boy. I know myself that I'm starting very soon, not even 15, and so independent already. It's certainly hard for other people to understand. I know almost for certain that Margot would never kiss a boy unless there had been some talk of an engagement or marriage. But neither Peter nor I have anything like that in mind. I'm sure, too, that Mummy never touched a man before Daddy. What would my girlfriends say about it if they knew that I lay in Peter's arms, my heart against his chest, my head on his shoulder, and with his head against mine? Oh, Anna, how scandalous! But honestly, I don't think it is. We are shut up here, shut away from the world in fear and anxiety, especially just lately. Why, then, should we who love each other remain apart? Why should we wait until we've reached a suitable age? Why should we bother? I have taken it upon myself to look after myself. He would never want to cause me sorrow or pain. Why shouldn't I follow the way my heart leads me, if it makes us both happy? All the same, Kitty, I believe you can sense that I'm in doubt. I think it must be my honesty which rebels against doing anything on the sly. Do you think it's my duty to tell Daddy what I'm doing? Do you think we should share our secret with a third person? A lot of the beauty would be lost, but would my conscience feel happier? I will discuss it with him. Oh, yes, there's still so much I want to talk to him about, for I don't see the use of only just cuddling each other. To exchange our thoughts, that shows confidence and faith in each other. We would both be sure to profit by it. Yours, Anna.
So here she's talking about her physical relationship that she has with Peter. Now she is 15, so she's older than a sixth grader, but she's questioning it. She knows that something about it doesn't quite feel right. She feels like she's doing something on the sly, which is good. I mean, as a young lady, as a young person, we know that she's not a Christian, but she does believe in God, so she should be questioning what's going on. And I like that she's asking herself those questions, and that she's going to talk to her dad about it. That's what I would suggest she would do if she's unsure of what to do, him or her mom, but we know how she feels about her mom. So let's continue.
Tuesday, 18 April 1944. Dear Kitty, everything goes well here. Daddy's just said that he definitely expects large-scale operations to take place before the 20th of May, both in Russia and Italy, and also in the West. I find it more and more difficult to imagine our liberation from here. Yesterday, Peter and I finally got down to our talk, which had already been put off for at least 10 days. I explained everything about girls to him, and didn't hesitate to discuss the most intimate things. The evening ended by each giving the other a kiss, just about beside my mouth. It's really a lovely feeling. Perhaps I'll take my diary up there sometime, to go more deeply into things for once. I don't get any satisfaction out of lying in each other's arms day in, day out, and would so like to feel that he's the same. We are having a superb spring after our long, lingering winter. April is really glorious. not too hot and not too cold, with little showers now and then. Our chestnut tree is already quite greenish, and you can even see little blooms here and there.
This ends side 1 of cassette 5. Please turn the cassette over and start side 2 from the same point.
Ellie gave us a treat on Saturday by bringing 4 bunches of flowers, 3 bunches of narcissus and 1 of grape hyacinths, the latter being for me. I must do some algebra, Kitty. Goodbye. Yours, Anna.
It always makes me laugh when they decided to put the tape ending right at the very end of a journal entry. I don't understand why they just didn't have it wait until after that. But the way she describes April, the month of April, it kind of feels like our month of April. It's been raining, but it is a beautiful month when the sun is out. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, especially in Southern California, so I can really relate to her just walking outside or looking out the window. Let's continue.
Wednesday, 19 April 1944. My darling, is there anything more beautiful in the world than to sit before an open window and enjoy nature, to listen to the birds singing, feel the sun on your cheeks, and have a darling boy in your arms? It is so soothing and peaceful to feel his arms around me, to know that he is close by, and yet to remain silent. It can't be bad, for this tranquillity is good. Oh, never to be disturbed again, not even by Mushi. Yours, Anna. Friday, 21 April 1944. Dear Kitty, yesterday afternoon I was lying in bed with a sore throat, but since I was already bored on the first day and did not have a temperature, I got up again today. It's the 18th birthday of Her Royal Highness Princess Elizabeth of York. The BBC has said that she will not be declared of age yet, though it's usually the case with royal children. We've been asking ourselves what prince this beauty is going to marry, but cannot think of anyone suitable. Perhaps her sister, Princess Margaret Rose, can have Prince Baudouin of Belgium one day. Here we are, having one misfortune after another. Scarcely had the outside doors been strengthened than the warehouse man appeared again. In all probability it was he who stole the potato meal, and wants to put the blame onto Ellie's shoulders. The whole secret annex is understandably het up again. Ellie is beside herself with anger. I want to send in to some paper or other to see if they will take one of my stories, under a pseudonym, of course. Till next time, darling, yours, Anna.
So right here is our answer to number 1. Now remember, she does change the names for the characters, so Bep and Ellie are the same. So who is suspected of stealing? It's the warehouse man, and he wants to blame it on Ellie or Bep. It would have been awesome if she could have sent some of her letters out, or her stories out, to have been published ahead of time. Alright, let's continue.
Tuesday, 25 April 1944. Dear Kitty, Dussel has not been on speaking terms with Von Don for 10 days, and just because ever since the burglary a whole lot of fresh security measures have been made that don't suit him. He maintains that Von Don has been shouting at him. Everything here happens upside down, he told me. I am going to speak to your father about it. He is not supposed to sit in the office downstairs on Saturday afternoons and Sundays any more, but he goes on doing it just the same. Von Don was furious, and Father went downstairs to talk to him. Naturally, he kept on inventing excuses, but this time he could not get around even Father. Father now talks to him as little as possible, as Dussel has insulted him. None of us knows in what way, but it must have been very bad. I have written a lovely story called Blur, the Explorer, which pleased the 3 to whom I read it very much. Yours, Anna. Thursday, 27 April 1944. Dear Kitty, Mrs. Von Don was in such a bad mood this morning, nothing but complaints. First there's her cold, and she can't get any lozenges, and so much nose-blowing is unendurable. Next, it's that the sun's not shining, that the invasion doesn't come, that we can't look out of the windows, etc., etc. We all had to laugh at her, and she was sporting enough to join in. At the moment, I'm reading The Emperor Charles V, written by a professor at Göttingen University. He worked at the book for 40 years. I read 50 pages in 5 days. It's impossible to do more. The book has 598 pages, so now you can work out how long it will take me. And there is a second volume to follow, but very interesting. What doesn't a schoolgirl get to know in a single day? Take me, for example. First, I translated a piece from Dutch into English about Nelson's last battle. After that, I went through some more of Peter the Great's war against Norway, 1700-1721, Charles XII, Augustus the Strong, Stanislav Leszczynski, Mazeppa, von Goetz, Brandenburg, Pomerania, and Denmark, plus the usual dates. After that, I landed up in Brazil, read about Bahia tobacco, the abundance of coffee, and the 1.5 million inhabitants of Rio de Janeiro, of Pernambuco, and Sao Paulo, not forgetting the river Amazon. About Negroes, mulattoes, mestizos, whites, more than 50% of the population being illiterate, and the malaria. As there was still some time left, I quickly ran through a family tree. Jan the Elder, Wilhelm Lodewijk, Ernst Casimir I, Henrique Casimir I, right up to the little Marguerite Francisca, born in 1943 in Ottawa. 12 o'clock. In the attic I continued my program with the history of the church. Phew, till 1 o'clock. Just after 2, the poor child set working, again, this time studying narrow and broad-nosed monkeys. Kitty, tell me quickly how many toes a hippopotamus has. Then followed the Bible, Noah and the Ark, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. After that, Charles V. Then with Pater, the Colonel in English by Thackeray. Heard my French verbs, and then compared the Mississippi with the Missouri. I've still got a cold, and have given it to Margot as well as to Mummy and Daddy, as long as Pater doesn't get it. He called me his El Dorado, and wanted a kiss. Of course I couldn't. Funny boy. But still he's a darling. Enough for today. Goodbye. Yours, Anna.
So if you guys think you have a lot of work, I want you to read this section again. My goodness. Although I didn't hear any math in there, but she's reading a lot of history, even some American geography probably, or history, and she's translating things into different languages. She's quite amazing. No wonder she's such a great writer. Alright, that's our end for today. The next few days of reading are longer than this, so feel free to take a break. I may even separate them into separate videos, but do follow along as we're getting close to the end. I will see you later. Have a great day.